What's up, YouTube? Georgia Silver Hunter back, and today we will be doing episode number 27 of our Nickel Hunt and Album Fill series. And here's our box of nickels. Now, I picked this up probably 4 or 5 days ago, and I was a little disappointed when I got it that nearly half of the box, actually 29 rolls, I think, of the box, 28 rolls of the box, were all 2023 Philadelphia wrapped nickels. So I pulled all the circulated stuff. I went to a couple of different banks and backfilled it with customer wrap. So today we're going to do a $50 versus $50 nickel hunt, and hopefully we find a couple of things to fill out our album. So before we jump into those nickels, I did want to show you the two books that we're working on. The first being the 1913 to 1938 Buffalo album. Now, I only find typically 1 or 2 buffaloes every 2, 3, maybe 4 boxes. So this is a book I have out just in case. The other book is this Whitman album from 1938 to 1923. It's actually a really, really nice album. It has the little plastic inserts to make it easy to put your coins in. And you can see the front and backs of your coins once they're in. I've also loaded it with some additional pages that got me all the way to 2023, I think. I think that's like the 2023 Philly that's in there. But it's kind of hard to see on camera, so I'll spend a minute or two at the end of the video flipping through all the pages if you're interested in seeing it. I have created a cheat sheet to help us with the things we really need, and it's about 8 or 9, maybe 10 nickels between 1938 and 1950. And I think 4 of them are actually silver war nickels, so we definitely want to find those. I am trying to fill this book, or those books, with only coin roll hunts or bank finds, not anything that I've purchased. So with that, we're going to go ahead and jump in. I'm actually going to start with the bank wrapped nickels first, because customer wrapped, it's always a crapshoot. You never would know what's going to be in there. You don't for bank wrapped either, but I always find that the customer wrapped stuff can oftentimes be more interesting. So if you're new to coin roll hunting and you want to know what we're looking for, I do have a document in the description down below this video that has all of the things I look for when I coin roll hunt. And you are welcome to go down and download that document and use it for your own hunts. It also has all the different variety listings for the things I look for. It has things like weights, if you're one of those people who likes to weigh your rolls. I give you, like, you know, how much a roll of pennies should weigh, or a roll of dimes, that sort of thing. If it's your bag, of course, you don't have to use it. Now, this 2004 piece metal does have a DDO, but when they're in that bad a shape, I don't bother looking for it. I think that's a 1964. But, I mean, this is basically what we do if you're new to coin roll hunting. I mean, I'm opening these rolls, and I'm going through them one at a time, looking for older coins and interesting things to find to shove in the album. Anything that's a book filler or an upgrade is a plus. That was just a 2003, but I'm going to get through this first roll. I'll go off camera and then just bring you guys in for the finds, which for the most part is 1938 to 1959. That's what we find the most of. All right, see you soon. We are on roll number 11. Those first 10 rolls have been really, really slow. And I don't know if we have anything here, but I got roll 11 open, and you can see we've got something that is the wrong color, but it's the right shape for a nickel. Let's see what we got. Just a deeply, deeply toned 2006. I thought for sure that was going to be some kind of foreign, but it ended up just a toned 2006. Probably just toss it back. So we are on roll number 11, and this has been a box just loaded full of pretty much brand new coins. If there's 40 nickels in a roll, like 30 of them have been brand new, and there's been 10 from like the 70s and 80s and early 90s. But it did have an ender. I didn't see it. It did look like an old ender, but I didn't think it was going to be this old. We have a 1940. Looks like a Philadelphia. First find on the box. Very next roll, roll number 12. We've got our next find, this time a 50s nickel. We've got a 1953, actually in fairly good shape. We got a little scratch there on the rim, but it's a 1953 Denver. Mint mark right there on the right. We're on roll 16, and we've come across our next find. It's another 40s era nickel. Came up obverse facing. We've got ourselves a 1949, which we do need the San Francisco to fill our book. Let's check it out. We've got a Denver. Just cracked into roll number 20, and I normally wouldn't film a duplicate, but this box has so far been pretty quiet. We've come across another 1940, another Philly. Roll number 21, and we have our next find. This one actually came up obverse facing. I had to flip it over to see the date, but it is a 1953, and it's a Philly. So we are, what, I think on 2 50s and 3 40s in 21 rolls. We're in here on roll number 24, and we have our next find. I came across this reverse facing, and I figured I'd go ahead and grab the camera because it is so old and beat up looking that it has to be like a 40s or 50s era nickel. Let's check it out. We've got a 1947. I didn't see a mint mark, so it's a 47 Philly. Well, we are through 25 Loomis wrapped nickels, and I can tell you, this was a pretty sad hunt. I typically in bank wrapped rolls do a lot better than this, even if it's just the 30s, 40s, and 50s finds. But this was really, really slow. We had 4 from the 40s, 2 from the 50s, 6 finds in total, nothing for the books. But we're going to go ahead and move those off to the side and get into these customer wrap nickels and see if it would have been better off just going and finding 50 rolls of these over hunting those Loomis ones. So let's jump into those. We're on roll number 2 of our customer wrap rolls. It would technically be roll number 27, and we've come across our first find. We've got ourselves a 1956. Actually in really, really good shape. Might be a book upgrade. Let's see what we have here. It is a Philly. We're on roll number 5 of our customer wrap rolls, and we've got our next find. It is a 40s era nickel. We've got 2 of these from the first half of the box. Just another Philly. So it turns out these customer rolls really weren't any better. We are down to our last 4 rolls. So this would be roll number 22, I believe. And we have found our third find in these last 25 rolls. And it is a repeat. It is a 1956 Denver. Now I don't recall what the first one was. Let's see here. Where is it? All right, so we got a Philly and a Denver. At least we got the pair in this hunt and not 2 duplicates. Well, we are on roll 50, and just 4 coins from the end, we've come across our last find of the box, and it is a 1953 San Francisco. At least that's a little bit different. We've seen some Phillies and Denvers, but not a San Francisco. So I'm a little excited about that. Maybe it's an upgrade in the book because I don't get a lot of San Francisco coins, so we'll check that at the end of the video, which is really 3 coins away at this point. So let me get through these last 3 really quick. And we'll do a real quick wrap-up of the 50v50, and then we'll take a look at the books. So believe it or not, we are done with this box, and it was the saddest hunt I think I've ever had the privilege, is that the right word, of filming for this channel. Those last 25 rolls of customer wraps produced one 1940, let's zoom in a little bit, one 1953, and a 1956 P and D. We had 4 coins in that entire 25 rolls. And I'm not going to go back through the dates, but in the first 25 rolls for Loomis wrapped, we had 6 finds. So that's only 10 nickels that we were able to pull out of 50 rolls of nickels. I'm used to finding 18, 20, 25, 30, tons and tons of finds typically in a nickel box. So this was pretty sad, but on a positive note, it does give us just a moment to look through the state of the books. So let me get the camera set up and we will go through that quickly. So the first book we're going to go through is our Buffalo Nickel album from 1913 to 1938. And a lot of this book wasn't necessarily filled in the Hunt and Fill series. I don't believe that I included where I got these original nickels from, but there is a video on my channel, and I think it was a live stream that I did very, very early on. I'd maybe been YouTubing for about a month, and I happened to come across at Wells Fargo a nickel drop where I ended up getting 8 or 9 rolls of Buffalo nickels, and maybe it was more, maybe it was a little less, and something like 2 or 3 rolls of war nickels. So most of the nickels you see here actually came from that one find that I did during either a live stream or just a really long, it was a terrible video, I'll be honest, but it was amazing the amount of Buffalo nickels that we found. But if you guys just kind of wanted to see the state of things, most of these are nickodated. I have very few that are true full date Buffalo nickels without being nickodated. But I figure I could just run over this so you guys could see. And it's hard for me to see this through the camera, so you may see me tilt and do some interesting things. Now, I do have a fair number that are partial date, like you can see when we get in here into the 20s. As we get a little bit newer, or closer to today, I guess is maybe another way to say it, I do have a number of these that there's partial date on. So back here in the teens, lots and lots of Nicodate. Some up here, kind of in the late teens. But as we get into the 20s, there'll be some that are Nicodated and some that, you know, are either partial date or full date. So anyway, like that 1934, I think, is a beautiful nickel right there. I mean, that is 100% a full date nickel. 20 million minted, looks really, really nice. This 1935, really nice. Our 36 is gorgeous, 118, almost 119 million minted. Then we get back into some partial dates, and then we close it out kind of with a pretty, well, maybe not close it out, but a decent 1937 and a really nice 1938D. But this is the state of the Buffalo album. Of all the holes, let's see, I've got 4, 5, 10, see here, 14, 17. Looks like I have about 20 holes to fill left in the Buffalo album. So let me transition over to the other Whitman album. That's going to be a little bit harder to deal with, so I may set up the camera differently. So it looks like this will work. So again, as I said in the beginning of the video, this book says 38 to 2003, but I've added the additional pages to get us a little bit further out. It is a really nice album if you are looking for an album for your nickel hunts. It's not as nice as the Danskos. I don't think it's quite as sturdy, but it's got some wonderful information in it about nickels. It'll, you know, talk about full steps, shows some of the designs. It even has all the mintages, I want to say, either in the front of the book or the rear of the book. But all the mintages are also listed there. But the one reason I don't spend a lot of time showing you guys this on the channel is you can see when the holes are empty, you can see the coins underneath, so it's hard to tell where you actually have holes. But for my cheat sheet, a lot of my holes are really in the early 30s or 38D or 39D. Let me turn off one of these overheads and see. It's not that one. Let's turn that one off. Maybe that'll make it a little bit better for everybody. We got a hole, you know, our silver nickels. I have all of the silver nickels, but they were from purchases. So I haven't actually filled these holes in based on silver purchases. That early hunt that I talked about just a little bit ago with the Buffalo nickels, maybe I have some from that as well, but I just decided not to put those silver nickels in this book. But the 49S and the 50D, I believe, are the final nickels that we need for the early part of this album. And you can see the condition I have varies. Most of them are in pretty decent shape, but occasionally some of them are still pretty bad. And I have a few, like the 1959. I've got a couple of them in there that are just blinging nickels that I have found through my various coin roll hunts. I think this 1963 is actually a proof that I popped in there from a couple of hunts ago. Let's see here. And then starting in 1971, you see we get into our S-clad proofs. And this is more or less what I'm missing throughout the rest of the book. I don't know if I gave you guys a good enough view there, but getting over to this next page, it's all proof, 74, 75, 76, you can see. But we have in Coin Roll Hunts found this 1982 proof, so that got snapped into the book here, or punched down into the book. And again, all through here. There are probably some upgrades that I need in these later years. I've just never bothered really to make a list because all of these look pretty good or good enough. So I don't spend a lot of time looking for those upgrades. But again, you can see it's just missing the proofs. And one day I'll find them all. And this was the last page of the original album. And I have added 2 new pages. And you can see we've got all the various, I forget what they're called. You know, it's they have the homeward nickels and all that kind of stuff, but we're just pretty much missing of all the designs, the San Francisco proofs. So our 2009 we got filled. They're probably not the best examples, but 2009s are pretty tough to find in good condition, at least for me. And then moving on, I've actually filled in holes that there's not writing for. But again, here we go, just missing those S's. And when we get down here, I did my 2018s, 2019s, 2020s, 2021s, 22s, and I did punch in a 23 Philly. I didn't leave room for the San Francisco proofs for those just because I was trying to fill up the book. So anyway, that is the end of the books, and for those of you that maybe wanted to actually see them, because I show them from the outer cover all the time, but we don't actually open them that often, I thought I would take that little bit of time and show those off for you. But we're only missing about 9 or 10 nickels to be able to complete at least your standard run Philly, Denver, and S minted nickels before they were proofs. And I do have about 20 holes in my Buffalo album that we're still hunting for, but with boxes like this last one, we will never ever fill these books. So hopefully the next box I pick up will be a winner. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it wasn't a great one, but you know, I do like to post the good, the bad, and the ugly on here because I don't want people to think I'm cheating or faking or any of that kind of stuff. I get boxes, I get rolls, I open them, you see what I get, right? I mean, that's how this works. That's the relationship I want to have with you guys in the community. So with that said, if you did enjoy it, or even if you made it to the end and it was a little bit painful, I would appreciate it if you guys could drop down below and click on that like button and leave me a comment, whatever you like. I know it was a terrible video. You can tell me that. It won't hurt my feelings, but it is what it is. If you're new to the channel and you do like coin roll hunts, please don't base my channel on this video. If it was the first one you've seen, I've got some doozies out there. Do make sure you check out my Epic Silver playlist because that one's a lot of fun. But if you want to see more from the channel and you want to get notified every time I release a new video, make sure you do click on that subscribe button and then click on that little bell, and that'll make sure that little alert happens for you. I would like to give a special shout out to my channel members because every little bit helps. It really helps out the channel with that little monthly contribution. So thank you guys so much for that. If you're interested in learning more about my memberships, make sure you do check out the join button down below. It's in the description. It'll tell you all about it. And I have a bunch of links down there to all the equipment that I use for these hunts, whether it be scales, whether it be microscopes. I think I even have some of the coin binders called out in there. Easiest for cleaning silver. I've got Nicodate links down there. I've got all kinds of fun links to the Amazon equipment that I use all the time. So make sure you check that out. So anyway, you guys take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.